station and give you a report. The Charlie America London station, I'm listening. Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot. Okay, I've got the Ocean 1 Charlie Alpha Lima. I'm missing just your first letter. At the moment, you are just a 4 and 3. You are a 4 and 3 to me. My name is Mark, Mike Alpha, Romeo Kilo, and I am in the southeast of England, 20 kilometres southeast from the city of London. Let's see if we can give you a better report. The Ocean 1 Charlie Alpha Lima. This is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot. Okay, very difficult to hear you. Just about a 3 and 2 on that last over. But I'm doing a deep search on QRZ to make sure that I have the right call sign. But very nice to meet you. I'm using a 5/8 wave, a vertical antenna today. It's just a very simple antenna, 100 watts, and the radio is an IC-7300. Back to you, sir. Give me your first letter a few times. Please give me your first letter of your prefix a few times. It's very difficult. Your signal now just a 2 and 1. Your signal just a 2 and 1. And I'm just trying to work out where you are, but it's very difficult to hear that prefix. Back to you. Thank you for the Victor. Yeah, Victor Ocean 1, the Charlie Alpha Lima, Calvin. I've got you now. Somebody did give me your first letter, but on that over, you were at best just a 3 and 1, 3 and 2. Very difficult to hear you today from up there in Canada. The DX just doesn't seem to be working for me today, which is a shame. I understand that you're on the eastern side of Canada and your name is Calvin, but yeah, Calvin, I think it's going to be a difficult QSO today, but I will confirm on QRZ. I will give you a at the best, probably on that last over, just a 4 and 2. I'm going to put in my logbook a 4 and 2 for you today, but I'm sure another day we could have a long rag chew, but unfortunately the DX just not working for me that well today. Back to you. Yeah, I've got the 5 and 2, Calvin, no problem. And I've just looked you up on the map, and I see, you know, you're just on a small island. really just on the eastern side of, is it Newfoundland? I know I can see you're a small island on the eastern coast of Newfoundland, so glad to get you in the logbook, but nice to swap reports with you. And as I say, I got the 5 and 2, no problem. As I say, the best I can give you is a 4 and 2, and that diminishes. It really does. It goes down to sort of a 2 and 1. In fact, you're maybe not even registering on the S meter. But I'm very pleased that you come back to me today. And I say, next time we speak and the conditions are good, we'll put the world right. We'll make everything good. But until then, I wish you and yours up there on Newfoundland a very best 73. And take care. Listen out for me on 12 and 10 meters. I'm always on this band, so you will catch me again, I'm sure. Victor Oscar 1 Charlie Alpha Lima M0 JCF, listening for any possible final. Well, thank you for that. And as luck would have it, Calvin, on your very best and 73, you come up to a beautiful 5 and 3. It always happens like that, but I'm not going to push my luck with you today, because I just know we'll get into a conversation and that will be it. We'll be back down in the dirt, and I just won't hear you again. But yeah, I won't log it as a 5 and 3, but we know that you can make a beautiful copy. Take care and bye-bye.
Okay, before I go there, Mark, by the way, only 100 watts from the wire with the ICOM 7300. The in-fed wire is 25 feet above the ground. WX, we're at 0 degrees C, and overcast skies in Newfoundland, Mark. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got absolutely every single word of that, Calvin. And I know you're using an N-fed wire, an IC-7300. I've got it all. And I even got your weather report. I'll give you the weather report here. About 15 degrees today. Very, very mild. We have rain showers. So we have blue sky, then rain showers, back to blue sky. A very, very mixed day. And I can legitimately log you on that last over as a 5 and 4. Absolutely no problems, Calvin. Back to you.
Okay, no problem, Mark. All right, I'll log you on QR. We'll log at 53. There, Mark. Thank you. And we'll do it again under better conditions, I'm sure, there, Mark. Thank you again. 7-3 from Newfoundland till the next QSO. Good morning.
Yeah, very good morning, Calvin. Absolutely fine copy. It always happens to me that way. You know, you struggle for 3 or 4 minutes just to get a call sign, and then bam, as we're saying goodbye, you're absolutely spot on. 5 and 3, 5 and 2, 5 and 4. It's all over the place today. Let's not push it anymore. You take care, and thank you again for coming back to me. Always makes me smile when that happens. Okay, QRZ, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, southeast of England.
Echo 3 Alpha Delta.
Okay, I got a 3 Alpha Delta. I missed the prefix. Apologies. I accidentally keyed up the microphone and I just missed that prefix. This is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Fox, southeast of England, listening.
Yeah, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot for Victor Echo 3 Alpha Delta. Good morning. Maybe it's afternoon. Anyway, good afternoon, yes. My name is Pete, Papa Echo Tango Echo. Let's see how you're copying me. Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot for Victor Echo 3 Alpha Delta.
Yeah, Victor Echo 3 Alpha Delta. Pete, I'm copying you fine, sir. 5 and 5 to me. Nice and loud, nice and clear. Somebody has come up very, very close to me. It's not going to cause a problem. I can just tighten up the filters slightly and drown them out. There's no problem. Yeah, you're 5 and 5 on that last over. I'm using a IC-7300, 100 watts, and a 5/8 wave vertical antenna. And yeah, as I say, a fine copy from you. You caught me there on the hop. And it's just afternoon here. We're just at 1:45 in the afternoon. So we've just passed midday. Victor Echo 3 Alpha Delta. Pete, this is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, Mark.
Yes, okay, Mark. I am 0 JCF from B3AD. Let me just type in the name here. Yes, I don't have this logging program set up for checking out names like it doesn't automatically connect to Q or Z, so I have to go by what people are telling me. So you have my name correct, and my campaign is literally right in the middle of the forest. I'm about 140 road miles north and east of Toronto, and I'm right in the middle of the forest here, Mark. I'm using an Elecraft G3. I'm in a Tokyo high-power linear, and I have a 4-element stepper antenna on an 80-foot tall cell-supporting tower. M0 JCF or V3AD.
Yeah, VE3AD M0 JCF. It sounds absolutely idyllic where you are. I sometimes wish I could live in the middle of a forest, but unfortunately all the forests and woodland around me are all owned by somebody, so it's not going to happen anytime soon. But yeah, you're a great 5 and 5 from that 4-element stepper. And I was just talking to one of your countrymen on Newfoundland, and you're 1,000 miles or so further west than he was. And you're a superb copy. Just to give you an idea, I'm 20 kilometres southeast of the city of London, so I'm sort of in the urban area of London, but I am classed as in Kent, so the Kent in the southeast of England. And you know, if I just drive a mile down the road from where I live, I am in the beautiful Kent countryside, you know, rolling green hills, etc. And, you know, small woodlands and forests, but nothing like I'd imagine that you've got there. And I would imagine as well, if you're near Toronto, you must be, you're north of Toronto, aren't you? So you must be near the Great Lakes as well. So I'd imagine quite spectacular. Back to you, Pete. VE3AD, this is M0 JCF.
Yeah, M0 JCF or VE3AD. Mark, very good. I'm going to ask you a question. Hopefully the signal's still holding up. There seems to be some QSB, but I wonder if you are familiar with Wheeler's Oyster Bar. I wonder if you know where that is, Mark. QSL?
Negative on that. Wheeler's Oyster Bar doesn't ring any bells, and it's not a place that I've come across even by accident. Pete, back to you.
Yeah, Roger. Well, it's on the High Street in Whitstable, which is just a little ways down the road from you. And I've had several meals at Wheeler's Oyster Bar. My father was born and raised in Kent, and then emigrated to Canada in the early 1920s. So my grandmother had a china shop on the High Street, number 7 High Street in Whitstable, and the family they were ship chandlers and shipbuilding company. So I've been to Whitstable, toured around Kent. As they say, I popped through Kent, Mark, QSL.
QSL, well, I actually know Whitstable very, very well indeed, Pete. In fact, it was probably just last summer, not this summer, it was last summer that me and my wife took a trip there. My mum actually lives a bit further on from Whitstable, probably another 20 miles, slightly inland. You probably know then the town of Westgate and the town of Margate and the towns of Ramsgate, up there on the northeast coast of Kent. so just up the road from Whitstable. She lives just a few miles inland from those towns. And as I say, Whitstable, Herne Bay, you know, we go to those places quite regular. As I say, because my mum also lives down that way, you know, I pass it often. And I do know now the area that you mean. I do know the High Street, I do know the harbour, and I'm aware of all of those shops that sell oysters, etc., because of course Whitstable is very, very famous for its oysters. And you know, you can often find that Whitstable oysters that have escaped, and you can normally find them up the coastland. And you know, so long as you get them at the right time of the year, and there's no sewerage outlets or anything like that, then yeah, they're a fine oyster. Back to you, Pete. V3ADM0JCF. Yeah, V3ADM0JCF. Okay, Peter, you've dropped down to a 2-and-1. I heard you mention the next time I'm down there. I know you mentioned the pub name, and after that it was absolutely 0. And then I heard QRT. So I don't know what to make of that last sentence, I'm sure. But I'll leave it at that, Pete. Listen, you can always find me on 12 and 10 metres. I'm always CQ. Always jump on top of me, not a problem. If we worked before on 10 and 12, I always like a good rag chew, Pete, so please do jump in again and come and find me and tell me all about it, and we can put the world right. You take care, and I'm going to wish you best 73 just in case we're losing each other. VE3ADM0JCF. Okay, Pete, I just heard a few words there and that was it. We'll leave it there. And I do thank you again. Absolutely fantastic talking to you about something I recognise. Okay, QRZ, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, South East of England.
They'll say, come off it. So, and another one I was telling Englishman yesterday, if you were to ask her, can I borrow a fiber so I can go and drink beer? She would say, when Nelson gets his eye back. So my American friends would say, what is he talking about when Nelson gets his eye back? I said, well, it means I'm not going to be here with you. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, and I do understand that some Americans have a little bit of an issue with the way that Brits speak. I'm not long come back from Florida, actually. I was in Florida 2 weeks ago with my good lady wife, and was only there for 2 weeks. We go there fairly often. I've been coming to the USA since 1987. That was my first trip, and I've been to a few states, namely Florida is the major one, but I've been to California and Nevada and Arizona. I've been around that way. But, you know, just a few weeks ago, you know, some Americans thought I was Australian, which is really weird. Others just could not understand me, and others were quite indifferent, you know, they understood everything I said. But yeah, when you use like local terminology, as you say, can I borrow a fiver to go for a beer or something like that, you know, yeah, I mean, that is a very common expression, I suppose is the best way to put it. But I mean, I'm 60 years old, I'm nearly 61, and I think the first time I came to the US was I was about 23 years old. And, you know, it was a real eye-opener. You know, we'd seen so much TV and listened to so many Americans in, you know, in different areas of the USA, in different TV shows. And, you know, you've all got very different accents as you go around the country. And so for us, you know, it was really quite smart. And, you know, quite often you'll talk to Americans who refer to the British accent. And the British accent is really a bit of a weird one for us, because if you've got a British accent, that suggests that you talk the same across the whole of Britain, which would be England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and to some extent Wales. Wales is a principality, but anyway, it you know, like, to have a British accent would mean that you would talk all of those dialects, and of course you can, where I live in the southeast of England, and you know, our accents can change just by travelling 50 miles down the road. But if you travel more than 100 in any direction from where I live, the accents can change quite remarkably. So the British accent per se doesn't really exist. And it's quite funny as well, when my American friends, whenever they imitate an Englishman, and they always use this weird combination of Australian and Dick Van Dyke's Mary Poppins character. And and it just sounds awful, but there you go. I mean, you gotta love them, you know. It's really quite comical. But when I listen to Americans, especially since I've been using amateur radio the last 6 years or so, you know, I've obviously listened to a lot of local accents, and I can almost now, I'm getting to the point where I can almost say what state they're from, you know. I can't pin it down any further than that, but certainly from the north to the south and the east to the west, we get a good idea. Whiskey 7, Yankee Oscar, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Fox. Yeah, Whiskey 7, Yankee Oscar, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot for that final. Glenn, it's been an absolute pleasure to rag chew with you today. You know, it makes a change from the usual weekends, 5 and 9, 73 next. You know, it's always nice to chat to someone, especially when I start sort of pushing later in the afternoon this side, west, you know, the East Coast USA. And like Newfoundland, that part of Canada, Nova Scotia, as probably as far west as Toronto, and we get those signals all the time, at least on my antenna. So it's always nice when you push out into the western states. But probably a good time to wrap up as well. Your signal was consistently low that time, and sort of hovering around the noise floor, and I was having to use this IC-7300's digital controls to basically pull your signal from the noise. So I wish you very best 73 there, Glenn. And always look out for me on 12 and 10 meters, and we'll chew again, and we'll put the world right, I'm sure. And in the meantime, I'll see if next time I speak to you, you never know, I might have some news on the local QR Mexico. We'll see. But very best wishes to you and yours. 73, take care. And until the next time, bye-bye for now. Whiskey 7, Yankee Oscar, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Fox.
Yeah, 73, really enjoyed Mark.
Thanks, Glenn. QRZ, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot, southeast of England. Okay, I'm not sure if somebody's coming back to me. If you are, you're probably below my Santiago 2 to 3 noise floor. So apologies if I don't get you in the logbook today. This is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot, looking for any DX on 12 meters. Nothing is heard. CQ, CQDX, 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 CQDX. This is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot. Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot. Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot, looking for DX on 12 meters. CQ, CQDX, 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 12 meters. This is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot. Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot. Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot, looking for DX on 12. CQ, CQDX, 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 12.